And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to 1380 AM The Biz with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I'm filling in for Brandon Rhymes, still on his honeymoon. We appreciate you tuning in. I got a great guest with me this afternoon, Julie Hennessy and Desi Fernandez. Julie's going to be talking about mortgages, and so is Desi from Team Hennessy. And also, I have James DeGrome in studio with me, and we're going to go over some things happening out there in the world. James, lay it on.
Yeah, that's right, Patrick. We got a bunch of events coming up for the Consumer Quarterback Show. While Brandon's away, we're still out there trying to produce things for the show. We got an event coming up on April 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Cox Media. It's one of those gratitude events, one of those larger networking events that Brandon has gotten into lately. You know, one of the things we've done is we've partnered with other groups and brought, different networks together. So we're actually networking amongst the networks. So we've got a bunch of people showing up for Cox. It's a great chance for friends of the show to not only meet the guest and talk to the different partners of the show, but meet Brandon and kind of explore the idea of perhaps getting your business some additional exposure. Maybe you can join the team. We want to vet you and kind of see where you'd fit into our situation. But it's an opportunity for you to meet the folks regarding the show and to make some network connections. You know, that's what it's all about, Patrick.
There's no question about it. These events are fantastic. A lot of people network, help each other out with cross-selling of products, services, and it's just fun and enjoyable. It's not your traditional business meeting. It's more of friends getting together and see if we all fit. We have a lot of business partners who really have the right morals and ethics to continue on and treat the Tampa Bay community like family.
That's
without that, there's no sense in doing business.
Exactly. We want to bring people into the family, bring people, new partners into the show, kind of build our own network from within and strengthen the entire community by providing that advocacy that we do on the program with empowering our audience to get more information, to become more informed consumers, make better choices out there, and just use the power of the program to improve their lives a little bit. And I just want to mention some of our partners that are also going to be at the event on the 26th that have been working with us. We have Brio Tuscan Grill, and you and I, we talk about it all the time. We love that place. We're over there all the time. Friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show, when you're visiting Brio, simply mention that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brio will give you a free appetizer. And again, it's not just a $3 or $4 bunch of French fries. They really do a great job over there. You need to go check it out. Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza. Mention the Consumer Quarterback Show, and you'll be qualified for that free app. The Hotel Zamora, the Kimpton Hotel Zamora over in St. Pete Beach. Beautiful location. Friend of the program. They do a lot of stuff for us. We've had events over there. They've got the bar on the roof, beautiful sunset views of the bay and the Intercoastal. I mean, it's a really, really great spot, and they've been great friends to the show, as well as Mary Maids, our cleaning company, the official cleaning company of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They'll have some representatives there at Cox as well. And, of course, Chef Will Wagner, our meal distribution guy, takes great care of the friends of the show, provides those nutritious organic meals, gives you a chance to enjoy your life and not cook so much. He does all the work for you. You just sit back and let him bring you the food. Chef Will Wagner does a great job. So again, friends of the program, all the people we work with on a daily basis, go to these gratitude mixers, these networking events, give us an opportunity to get the whole team together, kind of build some network and strengthen the group by the power of communication with one another. So that's the idea, that we got some things coming up on the horizon there.
Now, that'll be a great event. It's real simple, too, to find Cox Media. All you do is just get off of 4th Street, 275. It's less than a mile down on your right-hand side. So if you're in St. Pete or Tampa, you can be there within 30 minutes. No questions asked. It'll be a great get-together on April the 26th. We started around 5:30-ish, correct?
Yeah.
So that should be fantastic.
Food and drink, it's really just a party, but it's also a chance to improve your business and get your network spread out a little bit.
It's great times, and I've helped out people with their business. They've helped out me and my business, and that's what it's all about.
Now, just on a side with you, I just know with spring football coming up, what's going on with you? Anything going on?
Yeah, we're going to be doing some things at TBYFL here for spring football. We have the new field put down, James, so I'm real excited about that. Now, we do the show on Friday nights which is great. And TBYFL sponsors that. We have a lot of fun talking sports on Friday night.
Now, I told you about my experience with TBYFL when I was at USF. Of course, I ran the scouting department over there for
Correct.
18 years. So I'm on the job, and I've been contacted by different youth football organizations and different kids groups. Sometimes they want you to put together a little highlight thing they can sell at their banquet, raise some money. And I was anticipating that was this call was about. The lady told me, hey, the TBYFL's on the phone for you. I get on the phone. We talk for a little bit. I said, I'm kind of busy. It's in season. I don't have the opportunity to do much work outside of for the USF program. He said, well, really, it's a weekend thing, Coach. We were hoping maybe you could drive up to Georgia and scout the team we got coming up in the playoffs. I said, well, hold on a second. How old are you? He said 8 to 10, something like that, 8 to 10. You want me to drive to Georgia, shoot the game, bring it back, break it down, and get you guys set up for a meeting so you guys can break down your opponents for 8-year-olds? Amazing.
Yeah, they get a little crazy, James. They think it's the college football Super Bowl, but it's competitive, it's fun. I like the fact that the kids at least learn some discipline. Oh, it helps. It helped me immensely learning sports to become better in the classroom and in the business world.
I think the teamwork aspect of football is really the thing we don't talk about. We talk about the potential for injury, and certainly that exists in every part of life. But the thing that you don't get everywhere is that teamwork aspect of it, the understanding that you got to win. You've got to win for me to win.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's just exactly. I wish and let's not put so much emphasis on 8 and 10-year-olds winning. Let's put emphasis on them getting an education, learning discipline, and having fun. Because truthfully, the parents take it more serious than the kids. After the game is done, Coach, can I get a piece of pizza? Can I get a hot dog? Can I get a hamburger? Not, I'm going to cry the whole weekend because we lost. and they don't get it. And it cracks me up. It really does. It's so funny you'd bring that up, James.
Well, I just thought, my whole experience with the football parents and dealing with kids, the younger they are, the more you've got to coach the parents, not so much the kids.
No question about it. Just so they understand what we're trying to accomplish out here. And most do get it, and most do a good job. It's funny you talked about the injury aspect. A lot more kids get hurt doing BMX than they do football, but nobody ever talks about that. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, I grew up in South Florida. We were big. I was on the beach a lot. We did a lot of surfing and skateboarding. You get the kind of injuries I saw kids skate on bones sticking. I mean, terrible, gruesome kind of injuries as a result of surfing and skateboarding. So there's not just a place you can send your kid where he's going to be bubble wrapped and never get hurt.
Amen, buddy. But I like what the NFL's doing with the head down rule. I think that's going to help out the youth also, and that's important.
And it takes a long time to change learned behaviors. So those kind of things have to start and be emphasized year after year after year, and then you'll start to see it turn maybe 5 years after you start implementing a program like that.
I agree with you, James. I just hope they can be rational and use common sense with these new rules, because sometimes you have to take it in perspective, to say the least.
Oh, I agree. The new thing in the NFL with the targeting, the college rule, I think that's going to create some issues. So I'll be interested to see how they officiate that.
I can't wait to see what happens this fall also, my friend. Well, Miss Julie Hennessy, is there what's the biggest thing on your mind right now to talk about mortgages?
It really strikes home with me when he's talking about teamwork, because that's so important in a mortgage. Because there's so many people that come together to make a mortgage happen. It's not just one person that's maybe selling the mortgage or the rate or the processor or the underwriter or the realtor. There's so many people that are involved in it, and it takes a team to get it done. It's one of the biggest financial transactions in your life, and it's important that you have a good team on your side to make sure that you get to that finish line. And that's what we do. We're Team Hennessy, and we really, strive to prove that we can deliver that excellence and show you that the teamwork makes a difference in this business. And that's great, because we look at it that way.
How many folks do you have over there in the office?
8 in that office. We have an Orlando office and a Pell City, Alabama office.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Alabama.
Yes, Alabama. People need mortgages in Alabama.
And you guys kind of specify you have an expert in a certain category, or everyone kind of pitches in and works for each other?
That's one good thing about our team. We come from a lot of diverse backgrounds, and we all can bring something different to the table. So that makes a big difference, because no mortgage is alike. They're all a snowflake. And it's hard to relate that to someone that's only doing it once or twice in their life. And they think that their friend would get something, so they would get the same thing. And even if everything is correct about, let's say they're buying the same home from a builder, it's still going to be completely different. So it's important to have that experience on your side. So, I come from a background of underwriting, so I would be the one approving the mortgage and processing, who would be the one giving everything to the underwriter. I've also sold, and then we also have people that have sold and done processing too, and been in that aspect. Jim, my husband, he has done every aspect of the mortgage business as well. So it makes a big difference that we bring people in on our team, and it's a true team atmosphere that has that diverse background, because they'll fit in and they want to really help that borrower. We're all about education.
It's great to have another set of eyes to look at somebody's, income evaluation or whatever it is, what step it is. Someone could see something that another person doesn't. So it's amazing, even when in the paperwork, someone will go, hey, maybe you filed it the timing of the filing, or maybe the specific request, or the different form. So I had no idea how many different details go into somebody's income evaluation.
Absolutely. When we come across a difficult situation, it's almost like a dinner table. We gather around and we discuss it, and we think about different ideas, because structuring of a mortgage is number one important. And that's one of the biggest mistakes made, is that a loan officer will look at a deal and think, this is the way I should present it to the underwriter, and it'll be fine. But not always, because there's so many things that can get thrown in and throw a wrench into the situation and kill a deal. So as a team, we come together and we look at it and we bounce ideas off each other. And usually one of us will be like, oh, wait, it's like a light bulb turning on. And then you think of a guideline. There's so many types of things that when you come together and you really bounce ideas off each other, you can make the best decision for the borrower.
Yeah, and bringing people from different places. Some counties have specific jurisdictional
Absolutely.
legislation, different states, so you learn a different way to do things.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I'll tell you what, after this quick break, we're going to come back, and we'll be discussing things in reference to mortgages, teamwork, going to talk about helping out the veterans with home ownership, as well as other benefits I can help them out with. And we'll be back in just a short, brief moment. Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show here on 1380 AM.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
This one, right? Yep. Looking at Des. All right, welcome back to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. You got the host, Patrick Hyland, instead of Brandon Rhymes, still on his honeymoon, having a great time. Looking forward to seeing him when he gets back. I have Desi Fernandez, a.k.a. Desiree. See, she will get you the loan you desire.
Absolutely.
So how long have you been with Team Hennessy, young lady?
Together, I would say we've been together for 2 years.
That's awesome. Now, it's funny. I didn't know, Julie, that you had an office in Alabama. That's neat. That's good. No, I mean,
It's a little small one, but we get some loans done through there. You know, there's a lot of people are moving to Alabama, surprisingly enough.
No, very much so. They're just not looking for the big city of a Miami, a Tampa, Orlando, or Jacksonville, but they want to head further south, and Alabama has a lot to offer in that department. As long as you can handle a little bit of the cold, but if you're coming from the Northeast, it probably feels like a sauna.
Kind of a relief.
Exactly.
Yes.
But this boy coming from Tampa, Florida, does not like it below 40, Julie.
I don't blame you. I don't either. I'm born and raised here, so
there you go.
I'm used to this jungle weather we get in the summer.
Exactly. And I like it. Now, we were talking before the break about veterans and how we can assist them. You mentioned a job fair's coming up for them on May 19th.
Yes, from 8 to 2.
Yeah, it's at Haley VA Hospital in Tampa.
Fantastic. I like that. That'll be good.
It is. We did it last
location.
year. We did it last year, and it worked out great. We met a lot of wonderful people. We helped a lot of wonderful people, and we got out in the community, and we helped the veterans, which is what we did. It was first responders as well. Anybody associated with Haley or the McDill or any of that. They're welcome to come out.
Now, you mentioned underwriting. I know a little bit about that being in the insurance business, Julie. Now, when it comes to underwriting for the veterans, do they kind of give them the benefit of the doubt a lot of times? I would hope and pray they do, but maybe I'm wrong.
You know, there are some instances that they allow on a VA mortgage over and above what they would allow on a conventional or an FHA.
Good.
It's very different. So, you know, they'll allow, especially when the transition from active duty to the civilian world, that makes that's very different the way they track their pay, and maybe if they have some kind of disability or something like that. So there is different things that they'll allow that other types of loans you cannot do. So that definitely helps, as well as they go to 100% financing for refinance, cash out, and purchases. So that obviously really helps people because they don't have to come up with that down payment. You know, there can be a time where you have seller concessions where they'll pay your closing costs and you're literally out maybe $100 at your closing. It can happen. I've seen it. It happens a lot. So that really makes a difference with veterans and helps them. So.
Very nice. That's what I like to hear, because we need to do more for our veterans. I try to help them out with veterans aid and attendance. I try to help them out with their Medicare and Medicaid issues, and it's a privilege to help them out, and I enjoy the work that I do in that department. And just to do a shout out, anybody listening to the show right now, please, you need help with a family member, spouse, brother, sister, father, mother, aunt, uncle, whatever it may be. When it comes to Medicare and veterans benefits, give me a call. Patrick Highland at 813-966-1052. And if you veterans are looking for a loan, I want you to take this down also. Julie, please give out your email and phone number.
My email is julie@teamhennessy.net, and it's TEAMHENNESSEY.net. And the phone number is 727-215-0001. We can do all kinds of VA loans. We have ARMs, we have fixed rates, which are very popular in a rising rate environment. And refinances, purchases. It's always good to get at least a second opinion. And same with homeowners insurance. A lot of people, you are able to bounce them off different companies to give them the best rate. It's basically the same thing with a mortgage. You know, if you're shopping around for a mortgage, it's really important to talk to at least 3 people. And I always encourage that. It's all about education. You know, the more you know, the better you're going to understand what you're getting yourself into. And because it is the biggest financial transaction most likely in your life, it's important to understand what you're doing, you know, especially after the crisis we had in the mortgage business and everything that happened in our nation with the values dropping. And we're kind of in the upswing right now with values. So it makes me a little bit nervous just because I've been doing this for a long time and I've seen those waves happen, and we're kind of in that trend right now, especially in Florida. You know, the prices are getting much higher. The rental market's kind of dying down, and people are even doing a lot of lease purchases. So, and those are great. You know, those are a great thing that you can get into if you've never had home ownership and you're trying to get into a house maybe that you already are renting and you want to buy it. That's an option if the owner of the home is willing to do that. It can help you get into that house sooner than you expected. And that just comes back to education, you know, and that's one of the things that Team Hennessy likes to do. We like to educate our borrowers, and if they decide not to move forward on a mortgage for whatever reason, maybe they're not ready, at least we know at the end of the day that we informed them everything possible so that they understand what they're doing and get them to that next step. It's very common to, a lot of people offer a lot of things to veterans, and sometimes they can get in a lot of debt. So we teach them how to get out of that debt, and we teach them what steps they need to take to get into the mortgage that's best for them. So, I like that education factor of it. I'm an educator at heart. So I really encourage that among our team to educate your borrowers, because they're going to appreciate it at the end of the day. And that's the most important. The last thing I would ever want is someone going to closing and not understanding what they're doing or getting. And that's so important in today's day, just to make sure that you understand it, because it's a big financial decision. So
no, Julie, that's awesome what you just said. Brandon and I preach this all the time. It's not about making a commission. It's not about making a sale. It's about educating someone to make the best decisions. If you're smart and you do it properly, you're going to get more referrals than you can imagine. You're going to be more busy than you ever thought possible. Do the right thing for the right reasons. And a lot of business owners listen to the show. If you want to become a partner with the Real Estate Quarterback Show and our network of people, highly ethical, moral people, not commission breath, as me and Brandon affectionately like to say. We all have to make a living.
Right.
That's fine.
But that will follow.
Thank you.
Follow. And that's what people don't really look at. They're in to make, and a lot of, unfortunately, people get in the mortgage business for that reason. And they don't usually last, because it is about that education factor. Same with educating realtors. A lot of realtors are in this business and they try and help, and they don't understand. So we do that partnership as well with realtors, and we help educate them so that they can sell more homes. I mean, it's all about everybody coming together as a team, and that's how we present ourselves, and that's really what we do at our core. The education and working as a team to make sure that person gets in the right mortgage, because that can make all the difference in your finances, in your life. It's really important.
Julie, it couldn't be said any better. It's so valuable to be able to do that for people, because when you do that, they feel better about doing business with you and referring people to you. And you're right. Maybe the timing isn't right, but so many people call me 6 months, a year later, Patrick, I need your help again. I want to do business. I didn't mean to waste your time 6 months ago, but I just didn't know what to do. Not a problem. Let's get together and see how we can help you out to make the right decisions for you.
Exactly.
Because it's so important, and it's about caring. Two things you said. I learned a long time ago. The more people I help out with the right intentions, I'll get taken care of abundantly more than I can even imagine. It just works out that way. It's amazing. You can call it universe, you can call it God, you can call it karma, you can call it a bunch of things, but it's amazing. It really does work out that way.
Yeah, when you sow enough seeds in your life across the different industries, you can start seeing that come back to you, and you feed those seeds and you water them and you take care of them and you nurture those relationships. It's going to follow. It might take some time, but that's the best way, in my opinion, to do business, because you create a bunch of partnerships, just like we have here with the Consumer Quarterback. And that's important, because we can all learn from each other to help more people. And that's really, at the end of the day, what I think success is. You're helping people, and at night you can go to sleep and look yourself in the mirror and know that you helped someone. I had a difficult loan that we just did for someone that was trying to buy a new home in Riverview, and she had a lot of issues with it, and she came knocking on my door literally at 9:00 at night crying because her loan was denied. And we got her into that house in 2 weeks. She was staying in a hotel. It was a very stressful situation. We take on a lot of stress in this business, but at the end of the day, she got her keys. And I just, it made me cry. I was so happy for her. And that's genuine. That's real. It's tangible. And it makes me want to do it more. And it makes me want to help everybody, because I really actually make a difference in our life. Desi makes a difference in lives too. We all do that. And there's so many stories, but that one right there just really hit home for me, because she was so upset, and she did not think it was going to happen. She was going to go rent another house or apartment. And now today she's in her house. And that means so much to me. And next time she needs a mortgage, or if she's going to refinance, who's she going to call? She's going to call us, because she's going to remember that. And that's what's so important to me.
How about when someone says, hey, who should I go to for a loan? I need help. She's not going to hesitate.
Exactly.
Call Julie in a New York second.
Exactly.
And then, because people want to refer to other people. People do want to help out people. Mm-hmm. It's losing its luster a little bit in this day and age. Unfortunately, Jolie and Desi, let's be candid about it. But there's still a good amount of people who do care about helping out people.
Absolutely. And, that's something that I learned. We go to McDill once a month and we have lunch with AFCEA. And we met a lot of great people there. In doing that, we met a commander who asked us to come and present to the military, the active duty military, as well as overseas, and explain to them and let them know what they have, what they can get from us, and what they can use their VA loans for. And we explained it very well that even if you don't use us, let us help you, let us educate you. We worked as a team to do this, and they appreciate it so much. We've been invited back numerous times to do that for them.
That's awesome, Desi. We're going to touch more about the veterans benefits, this McDill get together, as well as the VA meeting at Haley's this April the 19th.
May the 19th.
May the 19th. Pardon me. I'm already still in April,
That's okay.
And I'll stay in April till May 1st. But anyway, we'll be back in just a few short moments listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show on 1380 AM.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Tricia up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, filling in for Brandon Rhymes is Patrick Hyland, your Friday Night Live guy. The sports show from 5 to 6 on Fridays here on 1380 AM The Biz. And I am very excited to have with me Team Hennessy, Julie and Desiree. On a serious note, they really love what they do and it shows. There's a lot of good things they're going to be talking about right now. Get a pen and paper handy because something might affect you or a family member. Desiree, during the break, we were talking about how people can still get a loan if their credit's marginal. Please touch on that.
Well, absolutely. There's a big misconception about credit. You would think that if you have a little speed bump, a little hiccup in your credit, you're not going to be able to get a loan for that, and that's not the case. There are ways to work around different things, and if we're here to educate you. So even if there is something on there that's not allowing you to get a loan at this particular time, we have companies that we work with that will help you get your credit to where it needs to be 6 months, a year, to then purchase a home, get a refinance, do whatever we need to do to get you to that point. We will work with you. And we're also going to educate you. Even if you decide not to go with us, we're going to help you get to where you need to be, to where you understand what it is, what's going on in your credit, what's wrong with it, and what you can do to improve it and not fall back in that same situation again. That's a problem that everybody has, is they fall back in that repetitive situation again, and it feels like they're digging and digging and digging and not getting out of this hole, and they don't have anywhere to go, or they don't know where to turn. They can always turn to us, ask us anything they have to ask us. We can get you pre-qualified for it, and if you don't, then we'll get you to where you need to be when you can, 6 months to a year from now.
Well, what I like about that also is if somebody does have a speed bump, we'll use that lingo, and they get credit for a 30-year mortgage at, just making numbers out, I know you can't discuss that part of it, but 5%. There's nothing 3 years from now when my credit goes from 650 to 750 to refi and get the rate down to 3% if that's available at that point in time.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's what we're here to educate you with, and that's what you're going to walk away from the table with, is that understanding, that knowledge, and you're going to be able to walk away knowing and feel confident in the fact that we got you to that point.
Well, that's it, Desiree, because sometimes people, and we all fall into this, they think they're locked into life, like it's marriage when they sign a contract, and it's like, no, it doesn't work that way.
No, absolutely
not. We can reevaluate this a year from now. If you're happy, you stay. If you're not, we'll move it. We'll do different things. That's why a consultation, education is so important instead of selling.
Absolutely.
Okay? And that's very important. And I know there at Team Hennessy, Julie, you, as a combined effort of all the people on your staff, you probably, I'm going to vet, and I don't even know the answer, I'm guessing, you probably have combined close to 100 years of experience.
Oh, definitely, and probably more than that.
There you go.
That really does make a difference. When you talk to a loan officer that has been doing this maybe for a bank, it's a little different. Guidelines are really finicky, especially with like what I touched on before about the builder. Builders like you to fit in a box. And everybody doesn't fit in that box, and people go with them because they're getting a credit, and they don't know that they can still get that credit with us. Another thing is that we also have access to hard money at our company. So if someone has really bad credit, for example, and they need to get into a house for whatever reason, or maybe they want to refi or something called a bridge loan, which is basically just getting financing for maybe a short period of time and then getting into a regular FHA conventional VA loan, that is something we can do as well. So that also helps. Another thing that we can do is a bank statement loan. I love that type of a loan because it's really looking at someone and how much they're actually depositing. That really tells you how much money someone's making, right? How much is being deposited in their bank account. So sometimes someone that maybe doesn't have that traditional credit or that traditional income, like someone self-employed, and maybe it's only been for a year, we can do that. And it's so hard to just get that information out because we are living in an industry or a world that is just information overload. So, that is really neat that we can go ahead and do what's like a Rocket Mortgage. Everybody hears about that. And it's basically just a product that Fannie Mae came out with that instantly tells you if you qualify. Now, obviously, that information has to be accurate. So that's one of another misconception that people have is that, well, I'll put in what I think is going to work for my income, like their net. We go off gross. Most people don't know that. That is a huge difference. So someone might think, I'm not going to qualify, but I'm going off your gross income. So it makes a difference in that. And that just goes back to the education part of it. At our core, we just want to educate people about credit hiccups and misconceptions about that, because so many people think that they cannot do this. One of the other big things that I've been seeing a lot of borrowers have are those instant money loans. They're very common right now, and it's kind of taking a hold of our industry. And a lot of people are wanting to refinance to get out of these high interest rate short-term loans. So there's several of the big companies that are doing it to where you can borrow $10,000 to $15,000 at an interest rate in the 20s. Okay, and it's kind of like it's a massive car payment actually, and it's just a temporary fix to maybe pay for something, or maybe you got yourself in a hole and you need to get out of it. That's a good reason to refinance, to consolidate that into a much lower interest rate and get into a longer term, and then that payment maybe you're paying $500 a month on will only affect your mortgage about $10. And people don't understand that they could do something like that. We're seeing it a lot lately, and it scares me a little bit, because people don't understand what they're getting themselves into, because they're not held under the same strict standards that we are in the mortgage business. So, that's another part of the education factor of it. We try to really get out there and put ourselves out there and educate people as much as possible to get those loans in and earn a living. We're here to earn a living as well, but it's not something that can't be fixed on our end. We can help them find what they need to find and get where they need to be.
No, I like that a lot. The other thing I want to touch with you, Desiree, if you could answer this for me. My understanding right now is whatever you make on a weekly basis should be the most you pay for a mortgage. Is that correct and still in tune as we speak, or does it vary? Go ahead.
I would say, that's pretty accurate, but I think it varies. You don't want to live paycheck to paycheck, obviously. Nobody wants to. I would say, 50% DTI is where you want to be at. But I would not want to. You want to live within, you want to explore, you want to live within your means. So
I guess what I'm trying to say is this: if you are making $1,000 a week, okay, and then you go to get a mortgage for $1,000 a week, and your credit's good, of course, you're going to get a good rate and be squared away. They're not going to deny you not having enough income. Is that correct or incorrect? I know, unless you have credit cards, you're through the roof. I'm just saying in a generality, 25%, you're in pretty good standing to get a loan. Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
Good. I just want to make sure that's still, I'm going back 20 years for me, guys. So, that's why,
Most people, you want to keep under your debt ratio, which basically takes in your gross income and then takes in your gross amount of debt. So if you have debt of $1,000 a month and your income is $2,000 a month, we go by monthly, basically. So that's 50%.
So you can still get lucky.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You can go up to 50%. They actually loosen. It's interesting, the market we're in right now with mortgages, because they've loosened a lot, but they've also tightened some things. So Fannie and Freddie are the biggest deliverers of mortgages, okay? Most people get them through Fannie or Freddie. They don't really understand what that is, but it's a government entity that funds the loans. So basically, they looked at it as though they'd rather have more than one borrower. So they can also do a non-occupant co-borrower, which means if I was single and my mom could help me and get on a loan with me, and she doesn't have to live in that house, and it doesn't affect the rate or anything about the mortgage, we can just take her income and debt into account as well, even if you don't have a job. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. We just closed on a loan where the borrower, he was self-employed, but because of the way that he was reporting his tax returns, we couldn't use any of the income, okay? Now, most people would think there's no way he's getting a mortgage. Well, his parents went on the loan. And he's in that house. So that is something that if they have enough room in their debt ratio to make it work with his current debt, then that he can get a mortgage. It's called a non-occupant co-borrower. In conventional loans, you can do that now. It used to only be FHA, and so you would have that mortgage insurance. Let's say you had 20% down, and you had the assets, you just didn't have the income because you were self-employed, and maybe you weren't reporting it as much as you should. There's so many things that you can do now that you couldn't do even a year ago. So it's the only thing constant in the mortgage business is that it's always changing. So, even if someone calls themselves an expert, it's really hard to be an expert because you have to learn something new every day because everybody's different. So we're always trying to make sure that we stay up on the education factor of it. We literally get new guidelines on a daily basis. So something could work last week and not work this week, or the opposite. Something might not work today, but it'll work next week. It's kind of crazy, but that's why we're in this business. We love it. You know what I mean? That part of it is very satisfying. But it makes a big difference on the DTI changes. It used to be 45% on conventional. It's now up to 50. But they've tightened to where if you have some credit issues and you're above 45, they want another borrower on the loan. They just feel more secure that way. FHA will actually go up to 57%. VA will go above 60. So, VA is a little different. They want you to have some residual income to pay off to be able to pay your electric and your water, because that doesn't go into your debt ratio, actually, which is kind of crazy to me, but it does not.
I didn't know that.
That is something else. The only thing that goes in your debt ratio is your monthly debt reported on your credit report. There is a question that asks if you have other notes that you've signed for and you have to disclose it, but we're looking at your credit and what's reporting there. So your electric bill, your water bill, your cable bill, how about your cell phone bill? Those are very expensive. We don't take them into account. So when you're thinking about that, it's important for someone else to make sure that if your rent's $1,500 and you're going into a mortgage for $1,800, can you really afford that? In your own mind, you have to figure out if you can, because we don't take those other costs into effect, actually. But the VA does. The VA wants to look at that.
I wish they would. I think it's so important to do that. When we come back, I want to talk about the credit issues, how much you have to put down to where the credit doesn't matter as much. My understanding is there's certain financial things you can do to where you don't even have to go through a lot of guidelines or need insurance on a home, too. We're going to take a quick time out here at the Real Estate Quarterback Show here on 1380 AM. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978. Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Your host for today's show is Patrick Hyland, me, myself, and I. Brandon, thanks for letting me do the show on Friday nights, and more than a pleasure to fill in for you. I'm very lucky and blessed today to have Team Hennessy with me. I have Julie Hennessy and Desiree Fernandez, affectionately known as Desi, like Arnez. Now, we have a good time here. They love what they do when it comes to mortgages. I love doing radio. If you have a passion for something, you're going to do well at it, just like I have a passion for helping out the veterans and helping people out with their insurance. Julie, Desiree, we're going to touch upon how people can get loans. You mentioned the 20%. If somebody puts 20% down, it's pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, guaranteed that they're going to get the loan. Is that correct or incorrect?
I would never use the word guaranteed.
I know. I'm
Patrick.
Sorry. I apologize.
I wish.
The very high percentage they're going to get approved.
You know, it really just takes away mortgage insurance. So that would bring down, if you put 20% down on a conventional loan, you're not going to have mortgage insurance, okay? That's basically just another entity insuring that mortgage that it won't go bad. So you have to pay an extra fee for that to happen. It's a little odd. Mm-hmm. But if you put 20% down, you have more leniency on the way the automated system looks at it, okay? You're still going to have to qualify just like someone putting down 3% or 5%.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought it was a lot. But yes, I understand it, but there is more leniency because obviously you have more skin in the game.
Right.
So the bottom line is if you do fold and can't make the payments, the bank's going to be a lot better off if you put 20% down than 3 or 5%.
That's why they don't give you mortgage insurance. So it definitely makes a difference because it can help you're borrowing less, obviously, so that you're going to have more equity in your home faster.
Yes, right.
And that's great because you can use that equity to maybe put on a new roof or at a pool. Like we're in Florida, we need those. So that's something that's really important. And a lot of people don't realize that you could use that equity for your advantage. It's one of the best places to use that instead of getting one of those short-term loans because you're using your biggest asset to buy something else. So whether it be a new pool, maybe a new garage door, it could be anything, a new driveway, whatever you want to do to spruce up that biggest asset in your life, you can do that when you have more equity. So putting that 20% down can put you in a much better position. Unfortunately, most people aren't in that position. Unless you're selling maybe another home and you have some equity, which seems to be the trend right now. Values are going up, so there is a lot more equity in our homes to take advantage of to do other things in our life. Credit has definitely gotten looser across the board. It's just a little different now, but it's definitely looser.
Now, we talked about refi, we talked about some other thing. How about home equity loans? Haven't they increased a lot over the last few years?
They haven't become as popular as they used to be. They used to be very popular. The way I look at an equity loan is that they're good for a short term, because it's basically a large credit card. And most people just don't pay them off. We end up refinancing them out of it and getting them into a fixed loan because it's usually an interest only, prime plus one, so it goes off the prime interest rate that's out there. And the payment, you could borrow $40,000 for $150 a month. It's great. That's just an example. But it's cheap money, but it sits there and you don't usually pay it off. So I'm not a huge fan of them, honestly. I'd rather put someone in something that's more reliably fixed and you know exactly what you're in for. But a lot of people use them as cash flow, which they're great for. Or maybe fixing up something and you're getting a bonus at the end of the year and you're going to actually pay it off. A lot of people just don't pay it off. So.
Well, that brings up another great point. You get a bonus at the end of the year. I mean, you might as well put it down on your mortgage if your tax person feels that's in your best interest. Also, my understanding is, and you can educate me on this, if you make a payment an extra payment at the end of the year, you can chop off about 8 years. Is that correct?
I'm gonna teach you something here, Patrick.
Go for it.
That is also
not
a
just me. This great audience. Go ahead.
It's a misconception as well.
My.
A lot of people will tell me that. Oh, I make an extra payment at the end of the year. Okay, that's great. What's kind of crazy is if you pay your mortgage more often, you actually are going to cut that term back way faster. So, for example, if you do a biweekly payment. So I'll give you a rough estimate. Let's say it's $2,000 a month, and you pay $1,000 every 2 weeks. Okay, it's going to kind of free up your cash flow a little bit, right? Because you're paying $1,000 every 2 weeks instead of $2,000 on the first of the month, for example. And that actually pays your interest down faster on a mortgage the way it works. Same with an auto loan. So if you pay it more often, so you're kind of paying the same exact amount that's due. Let's say you don't throw anything extra at it. Because you're paying it more often, it actually can cut back 2 to 3 years on that term. So you can take a 30-year term down to a 27, 28-year with paying nothing extra just by paying it more often. And that's a biweekly setup. And most lenders do that, or you can set it up through your bill pay very easily and just have it come out automatically. So that makes a huge difference. That's really just cutting towards principal. The biggest part of a mortgage is that interest over a 30-year period. So when you can cut that back, it makes a huge difference in how fast you pay it off. Like when you hear things at night, like, oh, let's pay your mortgage off in 5 years. It is actually possible. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it from my point of view because it's a great write-off.
Right.
When you refinance, you can actually write off some of your closing costs. When you purchase, you can write off some of your closing costs. And a lot of people don't understand that. And you want to keep that mortgage that's just my opinion, because the mortgage interest deduction is a great deduction. And a lot of things have changed in the tax world. We've had a lot of tax reform from President Trump. So that's something that you got to keep in mind. And I have a lot of people, I want to pay off my mortgage. I'm like, I don't think that's such a great idea. You should consult with someone that's an expert in that, because I don't tout myself as an expert in, financial advising. But, it is something that you can have a large deduction on that. So it makes a big difference in your tax liability. So I would take advantage of that.
Well, and I agree with you, but it's funny. See, everybody has to do what they feel comfortable about. Everybody's right in their own mind, and I get that. And peace of mind, there's a lot to be said for that. If it makes you feel good not to have a mortgage payment, yeah, you might be costing yourself a few $1,000s in tax write-off, but if you feel good, then God bless. Sure. I mean, that's how I look at life, but I agree with you. I try to do everything pragmatically.
I'm all about debt. I want to pay it off and then give you more because I'm in the mortgage business.
Well, but for good reasons. You're funny.
All for good reasons.
There you go. Now, hit you with a blindside shot here. I apologize up front, okay? Now, I'm going to ask the question, and then I'm going to answer it, and then I'm going to have you answer it, okay? I'm going to do one of those on you. Why would someone come do business with Team Hennessy versus going to the credit union or the bank? First of all, I want to tell you straight up front here, and we've only known each other a short time, but I know you have a passion for your business. I know you have a love, and you care, and that's big to me. And a lot of people out there do business with people who care about them. I don't care how much you know. I want to know how much you care. That's why I would do business with you. Now, please tell the folks why they should do business with you. You're welcome.
The biggest difference between a mortgage lender and a bank, your local credit union, are two things. The number one most important part is that they have guidelines and board members that they need to report to. Okay, so when that comes into a case, they look at what Fannie Mae will do for a mortgage for an individual, and then they tighten it. Okay, they want to tighten it because they're looking for a certain kind of borrower, and that's the kind of paper they want to hold. The paper on the mortgage, they want to hold those types of borrowers. So they might want, someone with 700 credit score. They want to make you put more down. It's a very different situation. So if someone that might have some hiccups and they have 10% down might not get a loan at your local bank because they don't want that type of loan. They also love 15-year mortgages because they will keep those on their books and they will earn the interest on them, and usually people pay them off. The difference between them and us is that we usually have lower rates and we can do more. So right now in today's age, you don't have that many people that are sitting there with 20% down, have perfect credit and great jobs, and they make all this money and their life is just perfect. Like, do we know anybody like that? Because I really don't. So, that's the kind of mortgages they honestly want. Obviously there's some banks out there that will do more, but that's the biggest difference between us and them. It's always good to compare. It's very important. I'm a consumer too. Okay. We're talking about consumer quarterback. I'm a consumer as well. And I tell people that because I don't want them to think that obviously I'm not buying anything. I have a mortgage. I know how it works. And I understand that you want to pay cheaper. The interesting thing in a mortgage is you can get a rate with us and then a rate with someone else, and it could be an eighth less, but what you're getting with us is that service and education that'll last you a lifetime, and that you can share with other family members or coworkers or something like that. And that makes a big difference, that you know what you're talking about because you worked with us, because you will know more at the end of the day. You will understand what you're doing, and that's so important to me and to our entire team. So that's a huge difference with us, and you will always get us. We're available 24/7. Everybody has our cell phones. They text. They call at all hours on Sundays, Saturdays. We never stop working. It's just the nature of the business we're in. And that's a big difference. We're not on banking hours. You know, we work 24/7, and we have to, just like realtors, just like insurance agents, because people have mistakes outside of banking hours, things that they need help on, and we're there to help them and get those questions answered. So it's the biggest, difference
you hit it
between
right
us.
on the head. Jolie, please give the email and number again. And
Our email is info@teamhennessy.net, and that's TEAMHENNESSEY.net. And the phone number is 727-215-0001. You can also text that number. And once you get a hold of us and we talk through, we'll send you a lot of information to help educate you. We have a lot of stuff on our website as well. It's teamhennessy.co or theloanpilots.com. That's an easier one because we are loan pilots and we like to pilot people to their right mortgage. And that's a good one. It has a lot of information on there, and you can go there and check us out.
Fantastic. Want to thank you for listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show this early evening. Drive safe. Be safe. If I can help you out with anything, Patrick Highland, 813-966-1052 when it comes to insurance and Medicare. Have a great night.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show. Weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.